Good afternoon, everybody. Sports fans, Sean Palmer here. Seth Kamen's on his way. Tax day is finally over, so Seth is going to be making his way to Philadelphia for a couple of days with the family. He is texting me right now, not really sure what he's doing. But anyway, so we have a lot to talk about today, midday edition of the show. Number one is we have NBA playoffs. Yes, finally, we had a couple of playing games yesterday. For those that were unaware, I did not stay awake. I was awake, but I didn't watch them. I saw Orlando kicking the crap out of Atlanta, which means Orlando is the 7th seed, and Atlanta's the 7th seed? I'm always confused by this. So Orlando becomes the 7th seed, and they have the lovely concept of facing off against the Boston Celtics starting game 1, April 20th. I believe that is Saturday or Sunday. Let's check the handy-dandy calendar. That would be Sunday at 3:30 Eastern time. And so the Hawks, who lost in convincing fashion, and I'd like to go into the Hawks even more in a second, but they get to face off against the winner of the 9-10, I believe is the way it rolls, right? The play-in tournament. So the play-in tournament right now, we obviously had the Magic winning. So Miami faces Chicago tonight at 7:30, and the winner of that game will face off against Atlanta. And the winner of that game, so the winner of Miami-Chicago against Atlanta, faces off against the number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers. Last night, we had the Warriors, the number 7 seed, beating the 8 seed Vancouver Grizzlies 121-116, which I know happened.
Did you say the Vancouver Grizzlies?
I actually did say the Vancouver Grizzlies. It's pretty funny. So they are the Memphis Grizzlies. For those that are unaware, they moved, I don't know, like 20 years ago at this point. 20 years ago?
Is Michael Dickinson?
Steve Francis.
Steve Francis?
It's all Steve Francis. And Larry Brown, by the way. Who I believe was the first coach of the Memphis Grizzlies.
He may have been. I don't really remember.
Yeah. So the Warriors make it to the playoffs, and they face off against number 2 Houston. And then the Mavericks and Kings play tonight, with the winner facing the Memphis Grizzlies on Friday at 9:30 p.m. for the opportunity to face off against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Do we call that a joy? I don't give any of these 3 teams a chance against the Thunder. The Mavericks, the Kings, or the Grizzlies. None of them. I don't think it'll go more than 5 games, maybe. You awake over there, buddy?
Yeah, I got into an argument with somebody. Sorry.
Barely awake. All right. So did you – I assume yesterday, being tax day, you did pay attention to the games a little bit, given that you were at the office. Yes,
I did not. I saw the second half of the late game. I saw nothing on the first game.
Okay, so the first game, 120-95. Magic blowing out the Hawks. And you'd kind of be like, all right, like the Hawks are a bad team. I get it. What I don't get is, and this is constantly, Seth, the issue that I have with this Hawks team, is yes, they got Dyson Daniels, who certainly helped this year in defense. So Dyson Daniels goes for 7 points, 7 assists, 12 boards, and 0 steals last night. Okay. With a 0, plus minus of 0. So that means he was even on and off the court. His backcourt, he did that in 35 minutes, by the way. His backcourt mate, Trae Young. And we all know how much I love Trae Young and Trae Young's defense. 8 for 21. 1 for 5 from 3. He did shoot 11 for 12 from the line, which is where he gets his points. 28 points, 6 assists, minus 22. Your best player cannot be minus 22. Your best player can't even be in the minus for you to be winning consistently. I am is Trae Young is the new Tiny Archibald, right? Or the old Tiny Archibald, or just Tiny Archibald.
Kind of feels like it, doesn't it?
He can't win because to build a team around Trae Young and his $45 million salary, you basically have to do the opposite of a LeBron James, right? LeBron James, you could do, all right, I want to surround my team with shooting, right? I'm going to be the non-shooter on the court, and I'm going to surround my team with shooting. And you can make that case for a Wemby. You can make that case for any big man, and you can make that case for Jokic, right? I need Nikola Jokic in the middle and 4 shooters. For Trae Young, I don't know how you disguise this. I know they've tried to do it. They have some pretty good defensive players like with Daniels and LeVert and Yang and Reese Deshay. I mean, obviously they're missing Jalen Johnson, who probably was their second best player out with a shoulder injury. But I don't know how this team, I mean, we talk about this all the time, how this team wins and how you can win with Trae Young being even not only your best player, but maybe your second best player. I mean, you know where I wanted Trae Young to land, and that would have been perfect, which was San Antonio instead of Darren Collison. And I think that might have worked. But I don't see how this works going forward. I mean, I'm in Atlanta. Everybody loves Trae Young. But what other player, Seth, covers up for the defensive liability that Trae Young brings to the table?
Well, the ironic one is probably would have been DeJounte Murray. But that didn't happen.
Well, you get the point that DeJounte Murray may have been a little bit old. We all thought that would work, right? And Dyson Daniels is a perfect combination for Trae Young, with one taking the bigger guard. But I don't know how you hide a point guard like this in a pick and roll. I don't know how you hide a point guard like this in a post up or in team defense. I just don't see it. And there may be a reason why James Harden never made a finals.
Could be.
Because you can't hide defense that way. And for all those people that are saying Nico Harrison is wrong in that defense wins championships, I don't like his double down on the Luka trade. I don't think that's right. But at the end of the day, defense does win championships. You have to be able to be a competent defensive team. And I'm not sure any team with Trae Young, without a guy named Victor Wembanyama, is a competent defensive team. I just don't see it. Okay, so let's move on to the other series in our predictions here. First of all, do you like the Mavericks or the Kings tonight? 9 and 10.
I like the Kings. They're just a better team and a healthier team.
And then the 9-10 game will face Memphis. Do you have the Kings beating Memphis as well?
No, I think it's going to be Memphis. I mean, neither team. It is amazing. I thought both of these teams would. I did not think either of these teams would be in the play-in. Of course, nor did I think Golden State would be in the play-in. But at some point, Ja Morant versus whoever's playing point for Sacramento in Memphis, probably Memphis.
Okay. I'll take Dallas to beat Sacramento, and I'll take Memphis to beat Dallas. So I think we both have Dallas in general. And then, so Golden State, the 7 seed, gets to play the 2 seed, who is 2 seed is Houston. So your pick there, sir.
Sorry, I apologize. Say that again.
So Golden State and Houston, great series.
Oh, I like Golden State. Houston, to me, again, to be fair, I've watched very little of Houston this year. But it's very hard for me to pick against a Curry / Jimmy Butler combination. Although Sengun will give them fits, and Houston overachieved, and none of us have really watched Houston this year, so it's hard for me to really say. Yes, they had a great year. I know that. We all know that. Does anyone really see Houston winning this series?
Well, I think Houston's missing the one thing that Golden State has plentiful, right? A go-to player. Houston doesn't have that they can say, crunch time, I need a bucket, go get me one. They have Jalen Green. They have Ahmad Thompson. They have Fred VanVleet. They have Alfred Şengün. But, all right, 1 minute left. I need a three-pointer. Which one of those guys? Truthfully, I don't have confidence in any of them. But if I'm turning it around and you say, okay, I need a three-pointer and I'm Golden State, well, all right, you want to take out Curry? That's fine. I'll just give it to Jimmy, and Jimmy will get me 3 points. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that Jimmy would be able to get me 3. So I'm with you. I'm with you. I think this is the, I guess, the litmus test for Houston in that is this a series in which they establish that they have a player that they can build everything around, right? They have a lot of really, really good players, but do they have a dominant player, or do they have to go get one? And we know there's one in Phoenix just waiting. And we know there's one in Phoenix that doesn't want to be in Phoenix anymore. And we know that Phoenix's draft picks are in Houston. So, I mean, everybody knows this is the perfect deal. The question is whether Mr. Durant wants to do it and whether Houston wants to do it. Okay. The 3-6 series. Best series of the league. In the tournament. Lakers and Timberwolves.
That's fun.
Uh-huh.
But I like Minnesota. I think it's we've talked about it. I think it's a bad matchup for the Lakers.
I love the matchup. As a quasi Minnesota fan, which I have always been, I do love this series for Minnesota. This is perfect. This is exactly if you're Minnesota, this is exactly what you want. This is a team that does not, in the Lakers, have any size whatsoever. And I'm going to go and throw Julius Randle, who's going to be my new Charles Oakley. And I'm going to throw Rudy Gobert, who's going to just pound it down low. Good luck. Now, the X factor is always Luka, because Luka loves facing the Timberwolves. Like, I believe he's averaged like 40 points a game versus the Timberwolves in his career. He's been amazing against them. But can Jalen McDaniel slow him down to the equivalent of just being able to be mediocre Luka and get 25? If he averages 25 points a game, the Lakers lose. And they lose by a lot. Okay. Denver, and I have to tell you, I did not know have you seen the new logo for the Clippers?
No.
So, hold on, I'm going to present this for a second. No, not that one. Not that one. Hold on a second. That one. This is the Clippers logo. Did you know that? Right here. That's the Clippers logo. Number 5.
What the hell is that?
It's a boat. It's a Clipper.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they had that. And I was struggling to figure out who Denver was playing. And they are playing the Clippers. If the Clippers are healthy, the Clippers are going to win this series. If Kawhi can play 30 minutes a game, the Clippers are going to win this series. They have a big body to bang against Jokic and Zubac. I don't think – look, Zubac can't shut down Jokic, but he doesn't have to. And if you have Harden and Kawhi and Norman Powell all healthy, I'm picking the Clippers.
It's of all the teams that are playing playing. This to me is such an awkward series. I have no interest in watching. Um, I'm going to take the Clippers simply because I have no feel for. Actually, I'm going to take Denver because I just don't think the Clippers are that good.
Well, I think the thing is too. You don't. I mean, part of this is all right. So Saturday's game is at 3:30. Monday's game is at 10 o'clock. Like every game in this series is going to be after my bedtime. Every single one of them except for the 3:30 game. So I'll wake up to the scores of each one of these games. And then we have Oklahoma City against anybody is going to lose in round one. I mean, the way that you have picked it is you think that it's Memphis. I think it's Memphis. I don't think Oklahoma City cares who it is. I think they win.
Shouldn't.
I think they win in 4 games. Okay, so you have Denver. I have the Clippers. So the Clippers and or Denver. So Denver versus Oklahoma City. How many games do you think that'll go? And do you give Denver even a shot?
I don't. I don't. Well, look, I don't think you can't not give them a shot because they do have the best player in the world. But I like Oklahoma City in 5.
Okay. And I will take Oklahoma City in 6. And now we have the Timberwolves versus the Golden State Warriors. Wow. I never thought I'd have that as a series. I'm going to take the Timberwolves because, again, it's size. I get Draymond. I get it. But your small lineup isn't banging with those guys. It's not happening. So I'll take Minnesota in they'd be the home team. By the way, that would be interesting. It's a 6-7 matchup in the second round. I'll take Minnesota in 7 at home.
I'll take Golden State in 6.
Okay.
I still feel like Minnesota's had such a rocky year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad matchup for them, obviously. The athleticism works well for Minnesota. I just kind of feel Butler is going to kind of be that added impetus to kind of get them to the next tier. Not that I don't think they're beating Oklahoma City, but that will be a fun series. And then I think Oklahoma State beats Golden State in 6.
Yeah, and I have them beating Minnesota in 7. I do think it'll go 7. I think Minnesota poses. And you know what's going to happen. It's going to be like my Clemson prediction. They're going to go out in the first round in 4 games, and that'll be the end of it. Minnesota has something that no other team in the West has. A lot of size. No other team in the West has size. Take away Jokic. Nobody has real size except for Minnesota. So if you can play with that, right? And you're able to play your A game with that type of size, you can make a conference finals. And if you make a conference finals, anything can happen. I don't think they'll beat Oklahoma City, but it's possible. I'll say 7 games in Oklahoma City. So, all right, we go to the East. We obviously have Orlando is now facing Boston in the first round, but we have the Bulls versus the Heat tonight in the game nobody wants to watch.
That's horrendous. That's just horrendous.
And then we have the winner of that against the Hawks, another game nobody wants to watch.
Nope. Those are unwatchable games. I'll take the Bulls. I'll take the Heat over the Bulls, and I'll take the Heat over the Hawks because sure, why not?
No, the Cavs winning that series in 4 games.
Yeah, pretty much.
4 games. All right. 4-5 series. Indiana gets better. Obviously, overtakes Milwaukee for the home court against Milwaukee, the 5 seed. I will take Indiana in 5 games.
I'll take Milwaukee in 6.
Milwaukee at home with no Dame. They say Lillard may play. So
it's a playoff series. He'll figure out a way to play.
Okay. And then the Knicks and the Pistons in the series I didn't want to see. And yet here we
That's
are.
probably the most fun None of these Eastern Conference first round series are particularly appealing to me. So,
you can call this the OG Anunoby series because
he's just going to be all he's going to do is just on Cade.
that's all he should be doing. There's no other player on that. Look, you want to give Malik Beasley the chance of beating you, putting 40 in from 3? Sure. You want to have a point guard put in 30? Fine. You want Isaiah Stewart putting in 30? Fine. This is the old adage of when Michael Jordan was playing in 1986 against the Cavaliers when they said, we're not letting him beat us. And, the thing is, they let him beat him with Craig Elo. So, This is where it's either going to be, I'm going to let him score 50 and hope that, which is what the Cavs did for Jordan, right? I'm going to let him score whatever he wants, and we're going to knock down everybody else. And if he can beat us, he can beat us. Or we're just going to lock him down and let everybody else beat us. I would go for number 2. When stars come to play, that's what they do. So I would go, I think the Knicks win the series. This is going to be it's just going to be, I don't know, I'd say the Malice in the Palace, but I think we already had that once. It's going to be back to 1990s. We're just going to have the bad boys in the Knicks. I think there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving. I'll take the Knicks in 6 in Detroit.
I'm going to take the Knicks in 5. But I think it will be a rough and tough 5-game series.
And I think Boston beats whoever. They're
it doesn't matter.
Orlando, but Boston wins.
Well, yeah, Boston beats Orlando in 5.
Okay, so now we have Cleveland versus the Bucks for you, and Cleveland versus the Pacers for me.
I'll take Cleveland in 5,
and I'll take Cleveland. I'll take Cleveland in 7. I think that's going to go much further.
You think Indiana's more of like the Indiana team?
I think if they can get past the Bucks, their athleticism, against Cleveland. I think Cleveland has relatively coasted in the second half. And then you have the Celtics and Knicks.
Celtics in 6.
Yeah. If not 5. Yep. The Celtics have beaten the Knicks every time. And they've beaten them, except for the last game where I don't believe Porzingis played. I don't think Towns played, so you don't count it. They have decimated the Knicks. And it's going to go back to the same thing. So Celtics over the Knicks in 5. And then we have Cleveland versus the Celtics, 1 versus 2, which is the exact opposite of what we have in the West, where we didn't have chalk at all.
Well, we still had the 1. We just didn't have a –
right, but I'm saying the rest of it, you had the 5. I had the 5 over the 4. We both had the 6 over the 3. We both had the 7 over the 2. We may have had the 1, but the rest of it didn't work. I'm going to take the Celtics over the Cavs in 6 games.
Yeah, that feels about right.
And then we have the Celtics versus Oklahoma City and whatever.
I'll take Oklahoma City in 7.
Is this an exciting matchup? Here's my better question, because I don't see it. I don't see it.
Well, it depends if you determine Oklahoma City to be exciting.
Well, I don't determine the Celtics to be exciting. Maybe that's it.
No, they're not. But you're also a Knicks fan. So by nature, you're not going to find them overly exciting.
Okay, well, that goes to my next question. Is Jason Tatum an underrated player?
Probably to some degree. Because he's a top 5 to 7 player in the league. And yet nobody really thinks, when you think of the best players in the league, his name never really comes up. He's not mentioned with Luka or Shai or Jokic or Giannis. He just isn't. But he's still consistently in all NBA first or second team. So I don't know how you play so much further down. I also don't think I don't think he really cares about the attention as much as other people do.
I definitely agree with that, although he is the highest paid player in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
So he averaged 26.8, 8.7 rebounds, and 6 assists this year. That's incredible stats. That he was NBA first team the last 3 years. In all likelihood, it'll be NBA first team this year too. Remember, it's positionless. So if you want to go first team, right? First team is, remember, you also have to play 65 games. So if you're looking at first team, you got Shea, you got Jokic, right? Maybe maybe LeBron. I don't think LeBron's played enough games. Jokic, Shea, Giannis. If Giannis has played enough games, Tatum, and pick your fifth. I mean, that's where you are. Tatum is a top 5 player in the NBA. Last year he finished 6th. I think he may have. Here's a prediction for you. I think by the time his career is over, he will have the most top 5 finishes in the NBA MVP voting ever without winning.
Winning one.
And maybe not even finishing in the top 2. That's a pretty. I don't know who is that person right now, and we'll look it up for next week. But yeah, I think he might be in there. By the way, for those we talked about this last week, the incredibleness of Nikola Jokic. He finished with 70 games, so he sat out 12. He didn't average 30 points. He averaged 29.6. He didn't average 13 rebounds. He only averaged 12.7. And he averaged just over 10 assists with 10.2. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a center. This is a center. This is a center. How much more does this guy have to do to break your top 10 in the NBA history, Seth?
He's pretty much there at this point. I mean, I haven't done one in a while. So I'd have to think about it a little bit, but he's won 3 MVP. He's won 3 MVPs. He will either be first or second this year, and he was second in the other one, and he very easily could have won. He has a game no one's ever seen before. I compared it. Closest comparison I had was, I think, Sabonis in the mid 80s before he came over to the US. He's won a championship. He's 29 years old. His game is probably going to age relatively well because it's not really based on athleticism. So I don't know exactly where you put him now, but he hasn't even hit 30 yet. But he's certainly well on his way there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, and we said this last week. How many players have been in the top? I think it was the top 3 MVP for 5 consecutive years. And the answer
you told me it was like 3 other guys. Oh, is it nobody?
No, the answer is nobody. Nobody. And Jokic will be the first person to do that. MVP 1, MVP 1, MVP 2, MVP 1, MVP 2. That's where he'll be. His career numbers are 22 points. I mean, these are rounding. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. We've never seen a player like him since Wilt. It's just that simple. It's just that simple with that. Okay. All right. So moving on, right? So I would ask you for your all NBA selections, but I guarantee you have not figured those out yet. Right?
Well, I don't think it's right. No, but I don't think it's particularly hard. I think
you're going to go into second and third team too?
No, that I need a week for.
I know it. and I also know that this is going to be. I understand this is a post-tax show, so we're going to cut this at the 15-minute at 2:45 because I have some other things to do as well. I wanted to get your views on our lovely former quarterback from Tennessee and how
Nico. I'm
never pronounce his name.
Oliva.
Yeah, cannot pronounce his name.
I just like I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
I don't know how to pronounce.
On the jet plane, and he definitely will not be.
Don't know when don't think he'll be coming back again.
He will not be going back to Tennessee. This is what we hated, right? This is just everything that we hated, and he won't get $4 million. I don't know if you saw the reports. Most people think he won't even get one in his new place.
No.
And more power to you if you can't. For those that are unaware, he this quarterback from Tennessee reopened his commitment, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to try and find somewhere else." And Tennessee gave him the old middle finger and said, "Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out." And
yep, that is your trade-off.
Yep.
Now. I was watching Colin Cowherd this morning. I guess Urban Meyer came on with kind of the Urban Meyer view of, okay, that's great. Who's going to be their quarterback next year when they're 4-8? Is it going to be worth it? Which he's like, it's great that they made a stand, but they have nobody to back. Now we have no idea. We don't know Tennessee's backup quarterbacks. We're not that encompassed in this. But
Urban Meyer's thinking about it one way, right? He's not thinking about it as a program anymore. He's thinking about it
strictly as a coach.
Strictly as a coach. It's a one-year solution. While Josh Heupel, I'll tell you one thing, Josh Heupel has enough security in that job to be able to make this decision, right? If you're a first-year coach, do you have that security? I'm not entirely sure you do. So maybe this has to do with circumstance to the same degree as it has to do with anything else. So I totally agree with you with regards to that. All right, baseball season is in gear. I know damn well you have not paid any attention to it, but
all I heard was Juan Soto complaining about something.
What's that?
Was there a Juan Soto complaint already?
There was. So Aaron Judge complained about Juan Soto.
Aaron Judge complained about him?
Well, he said something about Juan Soto. So, what was it? Juan Soto admitted to being in the Mets lineup is different than being in an Aaron Judge lineup. Well, yeah. And Aaron Judge said Soto will be just fine. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Guys, you're 17 games into a 14-year contract. We got time. It ain't going to matter. But I'll tell you, I did look up and looked at the baseball standings the other day, and who's sitting pretty in first place in the NL East?
I guess it's you guys.
Your New York Metropolitans at 11-6. And they're batting like 220. So there'll be a regression to the mean, I guarantee you. But your Philadelphia Phillies, and I say yours because you're going there on Sunday, your Philadelphia Phillies, who you get to spend Easter Sunday with the Miami Marlins, congrats on that, are in second place at 10-7, and the Yankees are similarly in first place at 10-7. Surprises in the first 16 games, the Orioles are 6-10.
They have no pitching.
Yeah. They've given up 78 runs, which actually is not the most runs against. That would be the Red Sox with 97. Red Sox have given up 97 runs.
In 14 games?
In 19 games. 97 runs.
So it's about 5. I mean, that's about 5 runs a game. It's high. It's not earth-shattering in this generation.
The Rockies in 17 games have given up 95 runs.
And they're the Rockies.
They're the Rockies. Right, exactly. They're the Rockies. And I had looked at this before. I didn't realize. So the Dodgers are not in first place. The Padres are in first place. So right now you would have all three California teams in the playoffs. Now, granted, we're talking about this on April 16th. So we got plenty of time to go. Okay. We're going to cut this in the last 5 minutes. Seth, would you like to go first?
I'll be honest right now. I usually don't do this show because I'm completely drained at this point, and that's
You're completely drained. Okay. So next week is the week of all weeks, right? Next week.
Yep. Draft week.
NFL draft preview where Seth stops hearing about Shedeur Sanders. That is basically, but if you're Derek Carr, you're going to be hearing a lot about Shedeur Sanders in the 9th pick. So I think I will quote Mr. Kamens when he said to me 2 days ago, I can't wait for these mock drafts to be over. I just can't wait. So we will give you our own mock draft next week. For Seth Kamens, who's over there, I'm Sean Palmer over here. Have a great week, everybody. And if you're celebrating the resurrection of Jesus, happy Easter. And if you're celebrating this Passover, he hasn't risen. It ain't rising.
Where is Elijah?
Elijah's coming. He's coming. He's going to be with Luca and Nico. All right, guys. Have a good week, everybody.